What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and I'm just going to touch on the gameplay just a little bit quickly, really fast, because it's not what I really want to talk about, because I want to tell you a little story. Story time with Empty Box. Yay! Anyways, it's a story of how PC gaming may just have been saved. Yay! PC gaming! Anyways, for the gameplay, things to note. Ways to get better at this game, just because I want to give you some tips up front. And they're pretty self-explanatory, but I feel like I should reiterate them because I find myself not listening to myself all the times. Although this was one of the games where I actually listened to myself and did what I am capable of doing. And, you know, it is what it is. Although the other team did absolutely suck, and they ended up taking it on both ends, if you catch my drift. But, first of all, challenge yourself. Play against better players. Play against better enemy teams. Which, admittedly, this does not fall into because this enemy team was absolutely garbage, and it sucks even if you're on this team. A lot of these guys probably weren't terrible players, but the rest of their team was just terrible. But it's like, yep, you're all doomed because nobody's moving out of your spawn, and you're gonna be spawn trapped pretty much the entire game. Anyways, challenge yourself, with your opponents. Pick a score and be like, I am going to get this score, or just say, this game, I will be getting the MVP ribbon. And just go ahead and do it. Just do it. You know you want to do it, just do it. Anyways. Weapons, fire them short controlled bursts. And when I say short controlled bursts, I mean Bad Company 2 style, which, honestly, if you play Bad Company 2, you probably still remember this, but basically want to fire 2 or 3 rounds maximum at the enemy if they are past that type of range, or any type of range, I should say. Basically, if they're past 15 feet, short control bursts, your bullets will hit more often, the hit registration will be better, and, I think we all have noticed low rate of fire weapons tend to waste fewer bullets in pretty much any video game, such as like the FAMAS. Excuse me, even if you're like 5 feet away from a guy and you open up full auto, you basically spend like 15 bullets, even though it only takes 4 to kill a guy at point blank with that thing. It's just because, bullets don't register fast enough, basically. Your internet connection isn't good enough, for the game simply can't keep up with that number of bullets. If you ever used the FAMAS or the MG3 and Bad Company 2, the really high rate of fire weapons, it's pretty easy to notice that, even though the gun actually kills on this number of bullets, you spend like 4 times as many. Anyways. Which, short controlled burst, better registration, better accuracy, more kills, more efficiency. And that's pretty much that. As well as, in this gameplay, it's basically constant motion, which is a great song, by the way. But, just everywhere. Just keep on moving. Every single game, every type of game mode. The only time I really stop, I don't mean like stop running, because obviously there's lots of times where you stop running, but, just kind of slow down and examine things is, when you're on that objective, when you're capping a flag, or when you're on the bomb site, just holding it, just actively, being there and being a presence, and totally should not go out and get that guy, so I didn't. Just keep on moving, and when you do move, which you should be doing a lot, is move with speed, move with purpose, everywhere you go, basically. Just go there. I mean, if you basically pop out in the open, you have already committed yourself, so by hesitating, you basically make yourself look like a complete moron, like we've all done before. And I know I certainly have done that plenty of times. So what I need to get better at is, if I go start sprinting, I should not stop sprinting until I get to wherever I was planning on going, because really, stopping halfway or stopping half a second after you've started always gets killed. It will almost always come back to bite you. I can never think, oh, thank God I hesitated. I totally... Yeah. Except for serpentine patterns. When you're running somewhere and there's a sniper shooting at you, stop, zigzag. Kind of like a crocodile. Anyways. Another thing, don't chase enemy players like you see me doing right here, and I'm going to be paying for it right now. But, hey, combat efficiency. Yeah! Anyways. I want to tell you a little story about PC gaming. I'm sure you console players are like, oh, well, we don't give a fuck. Anyways. Next video. Anyways. For those of you guys in the PC community, you probably almost certainly have heard about this, because really it's blown up to be absolutely super massive. Obviously there's a long time ago when pretty much the normal was PC games had mods and mod tools and everything. The developers supported that. for those of you guys on console who don't quite understand what a mod is, basically it changes what the game is. You still need to buy the original game and everything, and pretty much every likelihood, except for Cass's Belly. Shout out, go play that. It's awesome. It's awesome. If you have a PC, go try it. It's awesome. But it's pretty much the standard, and since this recent generation of consoles has come out, and the versions between PC and console. I'm not saying you're a bad person for playing on console. It is what it is. Enjoy the game where you want to enjoy the game. Although personally, I say the PC is superior, and it is the superior platform, and you can't argue that, people. You really can't. But it's not. If that's all you have, go ahead, play on console. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They're there for a reason. But I'm not saying I'm better because I'm playing on PC or anything. But no. Basically, a mod changes the way everything plays. If whoever puts the time into it, puts their own personal time. Pretty much everyone who does this out of their own. Basically, it's a labor of love. I've done some modding myself. For a couple racing sims. I've painted so many cars over the. It's just like I see people in that community over there where they started charging for paint jobs, and I was like, dude, I will never do that. That's just not right. But that's just me on a personal level. But again, not saying I'm better than anyone or the holier than thou attitude or anything. But it's just the way we look at games and everything has just changed, I guess I should say. But it is a long time ago now when that type of interaction was normal. And really, I see so many people arguing against mod tools and such backwards reasoning, and that's kind of where I tie into this story. Obviously, I like Battlefield 3 as it is. There's some issues, but I understand that it's gonna be fixed by DICE on their end. But what if I wanted to play like a more realistic version? I look at Battlefield 2. Project Reality is absolutely fucking huge. It's a massive mod that's still populated to this day. It's still being updated. It's still being worked on, even though there's also Project Reality on Arma 2, which ties into my next thing. But it's kept Battlefield 2 living as long as it has. People say, "Oh, Battlefield 3 won't last as long as Battlefield 2 will," and it won't, because Battlefield 3, at this rate, if DICE never does release mod tools, which won't surprise any of us at all. I'm pretty sure they probably even said, "Oh yeah, that's never going to happen. It'll be a cold day in hell," for a variety of reasons. But why can't we just kind of change things to play more how we want the game to play? There's really nothing wrong with that. We're not cheating anyone. It's kind of like reminds me of when, I believe in Battlefield 2 or 1940 or 2142 or something, there was knife-only servers or something, and apparently that EA and DICE went on a banning spree for playing on knife-only servers. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, it's pretty cheap. You can get bunch of dudes just all running around, and it's just completely silly when you have like a massive 32v32 knife fights. But it's also silly, it's fun. Why can't players have that fun? Does it really matter if their stats are, artificially inflated or deflated or whatever? It doesn't matter. Let's just have some fun. Enjoy the game how we want to enjoy the game. It's not hurting anyone. If you don't want to play on a knife-only server, you don't need to play on a knife-only server, If you don't want to play Project Reality for Battlefield 2, you don't have to. You can play vanilla Battlefield 2. But where I'm going with this is something that has just gone absolutely massive, and thank God, because it might be the best thing to happen to PC gaming in this generation of hardware, and it's from a very unlikely source, but it is something I have mentioned on my channel before, and I do want to do videos of it because it's absolutely amazing. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm trying to do videos of it, because it's really hard to do a video of and convey just how awesome it is. But it's the DayZ mod for Arma 2. Basically, Arma 2, for those of you guys who don't know, it's a super realistic first-person shooter. I don't want to say first-person shooter. That's a terrible description for what Arma is. It's basically a military simulator. It's that simple. You think Battlefield is realistic? No. Battlefield just gets pooped on by Arma in terms of realism. It's a simple fact. It's just like, Yeah, you think Battlefield's realistic? Go play Arma. You will get destroyed. Funny thing is, I don't think there's a suppression mechanic at all in Arma. Hey, DICE! Nice job! Anyways, maybe they'll learn that guns don't suddenly start pointing off 45 degrees from where they're actually pointing. Anyways, that's a sidetrack, and I don't want to go down the ranty way, or more ranty way. But this game is not or Arma 2 I should say, just for clarification, is not a game that's ever going to sell huge in terms of numbers. It's not, a Battlefield or a Call of Duty where it's the juggernaut of, sales numbers. It's the definitive military simulator in terms of infantry and ground combat and all that stuff. But, because of that, it's not, average Joe Schmo is going to be playing it, while he's drinking a couple beers and playing with his, co-workers from work or anything like that. It's not that type of game. You have to be a very specific person to enjoy it and truly get into it. It takes a special person to get into Sims. Trust me, I know. I've been there, done that, except for Arma, which, But this mod basically transforms what that game is originally into a zombie game. And it sounds absolutely terrible. I hate zombies. I didn't necessarily care for Arma 2 or Arma in general. It's a little bit too clunky for me, and just kind of it's too simulator. It doesn't make any concessions for the fact that it's still being played with a mouse and keyboard basically. But it changes it to a zombie game basically, where you have the complete open world, which is like 225 square kilometers. Think about that. You thought like Grand Theft Auto was big? You thought Dead Island was big? You thought those type of games were big? You thought Skyrim was big? Get pooped on, son. But where you have zombies roaming, and you gotta worry about your food and water, you gotta worry about other players who you do not know what their intentions are, and they very well could just shoot you out of cold blood if they feel like it, or they could work with you and help you both survive. But it's just an absolutely awesome experience. But that type of game, Arma 2, going back to it, this is all because of one mod. One mod. It is now sitting on top of, at least when you click on Steam and you fire up the program, the top sellers, it's on top of the pile for top sellers. All because of one mod. It's been out for 2 years now. Operation Arrowhead, which you do need for this mod and everything. But it's basically a resurgence, basically. And for those guys who say, oh well, the developers want to make their money, everybody can make more money off of mods, because you got to buy the game to play the game. And I know there's several people who would buy the game if there's like a Battlefield 2 mod for Battlefield 3 that makes it more true to the original Battlefield 2. Which hey, that'd be a fun experience. Why not? It's gonna sell more. It's gonna make you copies. You don't need to make DLC. You don't need to waste your time making content. We can make the content. You guys can worry about the consoles. Just give us PC players the destiny to control our PC platform. Hey, Desert Combat mod from 1942 was absolutely huge. Battlefield 2 was really one of the first waves of the modern first-person shooters. And hey, yeah, that's 2005, Call of Duty fans. Anyways, that's that. What do you guys think? Mod tools, yay or nay? If you say nay, I may have to slap you. Anyways, bye.